One of my favorite words in the King James Bible is the word astonished. The word astonished is used 12 times in the King James Bible. That's used 12 times in conjunction with what Jesus has to say. The word astonished. 12 times in conjunction with what Jesus says. It's actually 15 times in the Gospel. 3 of the times it's being spoken of about what he does, his miracles. But the other 12 times it's being talked about in conjunction with what he says, which is really strange. You know, you think about Jesus' miracles, what would impress you more, someone says or what someone does, especially if they're raising people from the dead? You would think that would be astonishing. But that is astonishing. As astonishing as it was, though, it was not as high of a level of astonishment as what he said. His doctrine. In fact, some of the readings, some of the things he said were, and they were beyond measure astonished, astonished at his words, astonished out of measure, astonished at his understanding and answers, astonished at his doctrine, for his word was with power. It's talking about the words that he spoke. Astonished. 12 times. Interesting number, isn't it? When I was a little boy, I grew up on a farm. One of my favorite things to do, my dad was a farmer, and we're in the southern San Joaquin Valley with lots of farmland. And one of my favorite things to do was to watch the crop dusters. You don't get a lot of those out here, do we? We don't have crop dusters really out here, but out there we're littered with them. The skies, it looks like World War II out there. It's crop dusters everywhere. And we would love to watch the crop dusters because it's like watching an aerobatic show. It's like there's acrobatics. I mean, I remember one of them was named Lou Famano. I would always love it when my dad would hire Lou Famano because he was more acrobatic than some of the other pilots. He would be coming down with his crop duster and he would dust the ground, and then he would pull up and go, instead of going way around like some of them would do, he would go up and do a stall, a hammerhead stall, loaded with whatever chemicals are in his tank. He'd go up in there and just stall the airplane and then let the nose fall down and just dive right into his next pass. And we would just go, woo-wee! Our hearts would about stop, you know. Wow, we'd clap. My sister would be out there on the reservoir bank just clapping. But another thing I really appreciate about these crop dusters, especially Lou Famano, he would come to the end of the row, and sometimes there was a power line at the end of the row, right? Instead of pulling up and going over, he would go, what do you think? He would go under the power lines. Well, my dad, some years later, he got an airplane. He needed to travel from one farm he had to another. And so he got an airplane. He took me for a ride one day in the airplane. I'm the co-pilot, you might say. Don't know really much a thing about airplanes, but I'm riding along with Dad. Dad was a good pilot. He took us out to the farm, and we were flying over his fields, and he said, let's see what it's like to be a crop duster. Yeah, we love crop dusters. So he got real low, and he got down there, and he was flying along the crops, and I was saying, man, this is exciting, Dad. And this is really fun, Dad, but then I saw it, the power lines coming up, way off in the distance, the horizon. Here they are coming. And I knew Dad is a safe, good pilot. He's going to pull up long before this comes up. But he got a little close for my taste. And so I looked at Dad, I said, Dad, do you see the power lines over there? Just checking. You see the power lines coming up? Just checking. Yeah, okay, yeah. But Dad didn't answer. And we're getting closer and closer. I said, Dad, and you see the power lines? And he set his jaw, and his eyes squinted. And he got lower. And he's got this real intense, serious look on his face. And I go, Dad, they're coming, the power lines are coming, and we're getting closer and closer, and pretty soon I didn't dare interrupt him. I don't know what he's up to, but 50 feet, 40, 30, 20, and right under the power lines my dad flies. And it scared the living daylights out of me. I thought he was going to try to pull up at the last minute, and we were going to get tangled up in the wires, and it's going to be the end of it. But my dad just ignored my pleas, and he went right under the power lines. I'll tell you one thing, I was astonished. That's my definition of the word astonished. I can't think of a better way to describe that word than what I just told you, astonished.
Be thou faithful unto death, and you shall receive, yes, you shall receive, oh, be thou faithful unto death, and you shall receive, yes, you shall receive a crown.